close, it doesn't matter. Just open up your browser as I have opened it now. Uh, Go ahead and type in to your search engine, I don't know, like Red Hat. Amazing. Red Hat. Okay, Red Hat, the world's open source leader. This is their website, and here you would log in. So you do need to create an account in order to do this. Creating an account on Red Hat is absolutely free, and once you actually create an account there, head over to this link, but you can navigate on the page without problems, but I'm just going to give you a link as the worst case scenario, I guess. Let me just zoom it in. So it's here, basically, in the download section. It's not that hard to find. There are a lot of Linux distros out there. There are a lot of different versions of Red Hat, depending for what purpose are you downloading. And Red Hat, even though it is open source, it is not free. That something is open source does not necessarily have to mean that it's free of charge. Although Red Hat itself is an operating system, they don't actually charge for that. Rather, instead, they charge for the support. So if you want to access the repositories from which you can download software and updates and so on and so forth, you will need to pay a yearly fee. Now, the good news is that the yearly fee is like $50 for regular users. For companies or something like that, it can go up to 3K or something of a kind. But hey, you are a regular user, so it's only 50 bucks. And if you don't want to pay for even if you don't want to pay 50 bucks or something like that for for the support or something of a kind, it's fine. There is something called CentOS on my other page. Well, just here. Just type into your search engine CentOS. I'm using Firefox here, but doesn't really matter. Whichever operating system, whichever browser. CentOS, go and visit their page. I'm just going to close this one because I have another one opened. And there you go. CentOS is pretty much a copy of Red Hat. Red Hat does not have a problem with that. Just a heads up info or something of a kind. Red Hat does not have a problem with CentOS. In fact, they cooperate on a lot of things. Here's why. CentOS doesn't actually charge for anything. It's completely free. It's open source. You can download it for free without any sort of registration required, and it gives the users a chance to see what Red Hat can be really like. Furthermore, you can one of the fundamental differences between CentOS and Red Hat is the support. Pretty much everything else is more or less the same. So you can download it and you should be able to follow through the tutorial without any bigger difficulties of whatsoever, as things will be pretty much the same. If you do encounter into some problems, please do let me know. I will be more than happy to jump in and help you out. Now, there are a few things that you should pay attention here when downloading CentOS. Make sure that you know whether your system is a 32-bit or a 64-bit operating system. If it's 64-bit, it won't matter. You will be able to run 32-bit images and 64-bit images without any problems. However, if it is a 32-bit system, then you will not be able to run 64-bit images. And I have made a bit of a spin here with words, but I think you get the meaning. Make sure that you know whether it's 32-bit or 64-bit. Anyway, so you have a DVD ISO, everything ISO, minimal ISO. You can certainly choose one of these three, but what I would recommend if you're going to download CentOS, just to go, if this is not for you, alternative downloads might be. So just go ahead and click here. This will give you a choice. So you have CentOS 7 and the version of the 7, and you have it only for 64-bit systems if I'm not mistaken. And down below you have CentOS 6 if you're using a 32-bit system. Just go ahead and download this one where it says i386. Just in case you are using a 32-bit system, please keep in mind a lot of people make this mistake and then they can't install it in the VirtualBox. They get a lot of errors. They can't figure out what is wrong, but eventually they do, and it's not a major obstacle, I would say, but it certainly does cause a loss of time. Just a bit of attention and you can save yourselves a lot of trouble. Now I won't be showing the installation for CentOS, but it's almost exactly the same, if not exactly the same. Red Hat, CentOS, and Fedora, they're pretty much the same, so no problems there. Fedora is just a open source free distro maintained by Red Hat that is for desktop users. It's very nice. That is the one that I like to use as my desktop machine. Well, not my desktop machine, I run it on my laptop, and it has served me extremely well. Anyway, we are now on Red Hat's website. I have logged into my account. Sorry for that. And I am here at the downloads page, download a product. So it says Red Hat Enterprise Linux Desktop. That is the one that you will need. And it says 7.1 latest. Excellent. 64-bit architecture. Prior to this, you are going to have a downloads page and stuff of a kind. Browse the site, see what suits you, but this is the one that I have chosen to download. If you want another version of it, just go to the download section on the site. As soon as you log in, you will be, as soon as you create the actual account, which is fairly simple to do, you will be given an option to actually go to the download section, and there you can pretty much choose whatever you want. I have chosen to download Red Hat Enterprise Linux for desktops. I know it says that it's not that it's perhaps not the best for servers or something like that, but believe me, you can install packages, you can configure it, and it can run as a fantastic server. And besides, it has pretty much all the functionalities as the other ones do. However, you do need to bother with the installation of extra packages, configuration, and addition of stuff, as opposed to some other variations where you don't need to do this. And for example, Red Hat server or something of a kind, it would support file sizes up to a petabyte or something of a kind, which is humongous. You're definitely not going to need that realistically ever. I mean, uh, unless you work in a large company or something of a kind, and then they have these products. But the management, the commands, the setup, everything is pretty much the same. There's very little difference. So go ahead and select Red Hat 7.1 binary DVD download. You don't need the supplementary DVD. Just go ahead and download the binary DVD, the middle one. Click on the download and it's going to download for you. It's 3.57 gigabytes. So it might take a while for you to download. I'm not going to download it now, but I have downloaded it previously. You can see it here. I have actually downloaded it twice because the first download was incorrect. Didn't really work out, so I just downloaded it again, which was really a painful experience, as it is a rather large file, and I don't have a really fast that fast of an internet connection here. It's like 5 megabits, so that was kind of painful, but okay. Anyway, feel free to pause the tutorial here and then continue on when the download is done, because you're going to need this file in order to proceed. Anyway, let's just go ahead and start up our VirtualBox so that we may actually begin the installation process. Anyway, as I have said, okay, so where is it? As I have said, I'm only showing you the application here, and the usage of this application is exactly the same across all supported platforms pretty much. So on Windows, Linux, Mac, whatever, the setup is pretty much the same. There is nothing fundamentally different that you need to do in order to perform the setup there. The installation process is different on different platforms, but the application itself, the software, it's not. It's pretty much the same. It displays the same sort of information. The process is exactly the same, so no worries there. Okay, so let's go and actually create our Red Hat machine. I'm gonna go ahead and let's just minimize this, shall we? And I don't really need this. I like to keep this this part open so I know what is going on in the background. Well, maybe not in the background, but I know the load on my system. I know that there are utilities that you can put on the side that can be really useful, but for the time being, I'm just going to leave it as it is so I can monitor the usage. You can see this is ridiculous. It gets up to 90% in all 4 cores. That's a joy. Anyway, even though it's an i7 processor, Anyway, let's just go ahead